Sometimes the Wild West didn't just test a man's strength, it tested his heart. And on a hot, dusty evening in the small town of Clearwater, a little orphan boy stood alone before a crowd that had already turned their backs on him. His name was Eli. Barefoot, dusty, and shaking with fear, he stared at the ground as the sheriff called his name. The sheriff's voice was tired and heavy. "Eli Turner, age 9, he said. The boy's parents had died in a fire that burned their small ranch to ashes. No kin. No family. No one to claim him. Anyone willing to take the boy in?" the sheriff called out. The town stayed silent. Men looked away. Women whispered to one another. Someone muttered, "We don't need another mouth to feed." Eli clutched the small wooden horse his father had carved for him. His tears cut through the dust on his face. He whispered softly, "Please, someone take me home." From the back of the crowd, a lone rider appeared. He was tall, quiet, and wore a wide-brimmed hat that shadowed his eyes. His horse was a strong chestnut stallion, and as he rode closer, the murmurs grew. It was Luke Carson, a cowboy who lived far beyond the edge of town, a man known for his silence. He had buried his wife and newborn son 3 winters ago and had spoken little since. His heart, people said, had turned to stone. Luke dismounted slowly, his boots sinking into the dirt. His eyes rested on the trembling boy standing before the crowd. Something in the child's eyes, maybe the fear, maybe the loneliness, reached deep into Luke's soul. The sheriff looked uncertain. "Luke, you here for something?" Luke's voice came quiet but steady. "Yeah. I'm here to claim him." The crowd gasped. "You mean the orphan boy?" "Luke, you don't even have a wife," someone shouted. Luke ignored them. He knelt before Eli. The boy looked up, unsure, frightened, but hopeful. Luke tipped his hat and whispered, "Son, you ain't alone no more." The sheriff frowned. "You sure, Luke? He's not your blood." Luke looked the man straight in the eye. "Don't have to be blood to be family." He lifted Eli gently onto his horse and rode away toward the open plains. What no one knew that day was how much both of them needed saving. The first few days were hard. The boy barely spoke. Every sudden noise made him jump. Every time Luke called out to the horses, Eli flinched. One evening, Luke found him sitting under the old oak tree beside the barn, holding that small wooden horse. Luke sat down beside him. "Your pa made that?" he asked softly. Eli nodded. "He said he'd teach me to ride one day." Luke smiled faintly. "Then I guess it's my job now." The next morning, Luke lifted Eli onto his own horse, Dusty, and they rode together through golden fields. For the first time, the boy laughed, a small, innocent sound that broke through the silence Luke had lived in for years. Luke smiled. "That's it, partner. Let the wind take your fears." Days turned to weeks, and the boy began to heal. Luke taught him how to ride, rope, and feed the cattle. He told him about honor, about keeping your word, about facing storms instead of hiding from them. One day, a neighboring rancher named Hank Miller rode over. He looked at Eli and scoffed. "You really think that boy's yours, Carson? He's just an orphan." Luke's jaw tightened. "He's not just anything. He's my son." Hank smirked. "Blood tells the truth, Luke." Luke placed his hand on Eli's shoulder. "Maybe. But love tells a better story." That night, as the fire crackled and the stars filled the sky, Eli asked quietly, "Luke, why'd you take me?" Luke stared into the flames for a long time before answering. "Because once, I prayed for a son. Maybe God took his time, but he sent me you." Eli smiled through tears. "Then I'll never leave you, Pa." Luke's eyes glistened. "You better not, kid. This old ranch wouldn't be home without you." Years passed. The boy grew tall and strong. The ranch flourished. Folks in town stopped calling him the orphan. They called him Eli Carson, son of Luke Carson. In that quiet corner of the Wild West, where dust and pain often hardened men's hearts, one cowboy proved that family isn't born from blood, it's built from love. And somewhere beyond the hills, when the sun dipped behind the horizon, a father and son rode side by side, two souls who found each other when the world had given up on them. If this story touched your heart, friend, take a moment to subscribe to the channel. Because out here on the Western Trail, we tell stories that remind you that love still rides strong in the hearts of good men. Stay with us, for more stories that heal, inspire, and make you believe again.